Hello, everyone. Lovely to see you, to be with you. Hello, Holger, Alan, Eliana. Hello, Rashmi, Jeff, HF, and George, Richard, John,
Hey.
Holly, Mina. Hello, Gabba, Frank. Welcome.
Hey, Magdi.
Yes, lovely to be with you. So let's start by welcoming our presence, welcoming being, welcoming whatever appears, whichever way it appears. I am, I is. And turn your attention to just being, relax, enjoy. Simply be. No preoccupation, no worry, nothing to attain, nothing to get to, nothing to fix, nowhere to go. Just for now, simply be. To be fresh and unknowing. To be discovered every moment as the sound of this voice or the sound of traffic, or the gentle movement of breath. It's all perfect as it is. Everything appears in the I am, in this awareness. Effortlessly, everything is embraced in this awareness. Very sweet, very gentle, very transparent. The peace of being, the wellness, the goodness, the allness, the oneness, the wholeness, the totality, this infinite, invisible presence The mind can rest. And the body relaxes. And you can enjoy being, enjoying itself, because it is joy itself. Being is joy. Being is happiness, peace, and freedom. So you can invite whatever appears to you to rest, to find its home, to rest as being, effortless presence. You don't need to figure anything out because you are the reality of everything. Why would you, the reality that is, the reality that perceives, be interested in figuring anything out? Maybe out of a sense of play, sometimes we do, or out of a need to make the world, body, mind function with more ease. But that's part of the play. And the play is your play. The play of consciousness. The universal play. It is all interconnected as one whole, like waves are interconnected as the ocean, and water is one reality. It's like your inhalation and exhalation of the body, in one movement. Or the functioning of the right hemisphere or left hemisphere of the brain, one movement. Our relationship with the earth, our relationship with the air, with the solar radiation, and the galactic fields interacting. There's no separate reality anywhere, no separate object, no separate substance. It's all one substance. You know that experientially as I. Everything that you perceive is the universe. The song of the birds is the universe singing. The raindrops in the field, it's the universe raining, and it's the universe which is the field. The breath of this body, the breath of the universe, one breath. Every thought that appears to you is a cosmic thought. Just as it needs to be. Nothing is off. The entire universe is choreographed by one choreographer. It's created by one creator and perceived simultaneously by its creator. You imagine yourself to be a separate creator, a separate doer, and you suffer the worries and the concerns, and personal worries and personal concerns. That also is God's play. But also God's plays reminds you that there is no separate me, no separate personal reality. This may go against everything that you may feel or believe, but that's God's message. Inviting you to take a look. Am I that which I imagine and feel and believe myself to be? Am I the form, the shape, the feelings which appear and disappear in this borderless, aware presence? Or am I this borderless space of not knowing? Being, not knowing. Surrender every sense of your being, every sensation, everything you perceive. Surrender it. That's endless, borderless beingness, spaciousness, holding on to nothing, this moment. No borders. Allow yourself to remain undefined, unlocalized. Without a center, without any borders or edges. Well, if you have any questions, make sure you unmute yourself and turn on your video so I can see you if you care. And so, any questions? Thank you. Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. The last few days I had a heaviness creep in again, but it wasn't really bad, but it was still disturbing. And just, I have nothing to say right now, but it's just good to be here, and I felt really touched deeply. And yeah.
You know, while in the past, we won't even notice this heaviness, this contraction, this unhappiness, whatever way we speak of it. Along the path, first we work with the big vasanas. They're so obvious, you know. Whether it be some work issues or issues with self identification with some family role, or could be religious identity or political identity, and sort of riding the big waves. But because we are designed for happiness, we are our nature, the realities, pure happiness. The more we find ourselves drawn and cold and in love with the understanding, the love, the beauty, the freedom, our tolerance for unhappiness becomes less and less and less and less and less. At some point, we notice the slightest contraction. We perceive them as opportunities to completely be transparent, complete transparency. The complete not knowing. That is not navigating towards any destination. But that is at the heart of that so-called heaviness. It's the heart at the core of every particle of heaviness. So that the entire heaviness is permeated with our full presence, availability. Without any personal goal, because there's no person anywhere. Everything is God. So in this manner, the understanding, God's understanding, establishes itself into the entire realm. And the mind is not a party to that. It's abandoned, it's abandons itself, it's abandoned, the spring is released. And God's released it. So in fact, there is no spring, really. Wherever we go, our hand is open for God's hand to take our hand whenever she wishes, in whichever way she chooses to. And realize that God's hand never leaves us. If we don't leave it, then there is nothing lacking. Everything that is needed is what's unfolding, what's right, just right, perfect, perfect as it is. We express God's understanding, we don't express our own. Because there's only one understanding, there's only God's understanding. We express God's love as my own, I could say, yes, why not? If I'm not separate from God. We, in the old habit of seeking experiences, states, and feelings, they no longer operate because everything is available in the eternity of being. Is now everything is available as I, as presence, as awareness, as consciousness. And then life is more of a flow, a play, sharing friendship. Exploring together. Not two. One being. Just to, without a center. Pure presence. And then the sun shines in so many ways that, well, no windows, no doors. It's an open field of play, of color, of sounds, of shapes, of family, work, friends, children, whatever. God's play, the body, part of the play somehow, whatever that is, whatever the body is, whatever. We don't know. It's moment by moment discovery. Like the magician, you don't know what's they're gonna pull out of the hat.
What's it called? Training on the job.
Right, the job training.
Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, good. questions?
Yes, hi, Magdi.
Hello, Jeff.
This is Jeff, yes. Thank you, first of all.
Do you have a video? Do you have video by any chance, Jeff?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I was wondering if you had a video that I can see.
I'm on a little tablet for the first time.
Oh, okay.
I'm wondering if I'm being even received.
Yes.
But I've been doing this for a long time. I experienced this expanded beingness, this kind of unlimited emptiness. And just recently, I was out on my property here, and I injured myself. I injured my physical body with a lot of. I experienced this. Just happened 3 or 4 days ago. A lot of back pain, very strong back pain, and I stay centered in the beingness. But then I move my way, shift my weight while I'm moving one way or the other, and I get a real. A real strong pinch, or like I'm being stabbed with a knife. Is there a way to relax more into the beingness when you're having physical pain such as that?
Okay. First of all, did you have a chance to see somebody? Maybe there is a pinched nerve or something. Sometimes a vertebrae, something may have moved. Did you have a chance to get this looked at or not yet?
Not yet. I called a neurosurgeon who I would use for a lower back problem. Yeah. And the earliest I could get in would be a month from now.
Oh God.
So anyway, I'm working with my primary care doctor.
Yes.
And she's given me a medication which I'm using, which usually is a very good anti-inflammatory. It's an oral steroid. It's a prednisone, a drug that's been used for many years.
Yes.
And I'm taking that now just for 3 days, and then I'll try to. She's going to try to get me in earlier to see this doctor. Apparently, it's just very difficult to see specialists when you need to see them now. I guess.
Yeah, I know it gets getting more and more complicated. Yes, I had similar experiences where. Well, okay. Just first of all, Jeff, if it gets really bad, and then I would even go to the emergency room just to have this confirm that if there is anything that is sort of with the body that needs to be adjusted, that this can be taken care of. But in terms of your question from the perspective of being or relaxation, it sounds to me like you already, from your introductory words to me, that you already are quite familiar with relaxing as being, right? So, but when there is a sort of nerve pain, then there are other aspects, besides resting as being, that are operating. So the only thing I could say, which may be singing to the choir, is not to add some psychological, angst or such as maybe some judgment or blame or getting into your mind about it. You need to keep your mind clear so that your mind can be available for the body to sort of see, okay, well, what do we need to do? Should I go to the emergency room now? Should I lie down now? Should I maybe I could just gently do certain exercises with my knees? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about this, but just be watchful not to clutter your mind with a me psychology, which you get what I'm trying to say, or?
Absolutely, I understand you completely.
Yeah. Otherwise, really get some professional, competent professionals to take a look. I've had back aches for many years. I had a fall many years ago, and it needed certain specific help. It took a while, but hopefully in your case it will be much quicker and much less complicated.
And meanwhile, I'll rest in my beingness while I set up all these plans.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Because I mean, resting as being is basically, we already are that. We already are this beingness.
Mm-hmm.
We already are presence. But when we add on, when we go into any identification, identifying with the body, or identifying with some kind of character, whenever there is identification, then we are narrowing the field of being into some sort of some sort of narrow energetic field, and that increases the pressure in the entire space. It's also not healthy for the body. So you already are that, which I think it's just it's just a matter of whenever you notice that you're tripping into the old pattern, the old me pattern, not to take the next step, to sort of stop, to just simply return to presence. Say, okay, I'm not going to go into this me story about me in the future, in the past, why this, why that. Just return to, okay, what's happening now? What do I need to tend to now? If nothing, then nothing. If something, then let's see. What are the options? What is it? So it's more not taking any side road, not defining yourself in any way. If you remain undefined, you're not even a man, you're not Jeff, you're not a son, you're not a brother or father.
And it's not even my beingness. It's just being.
Absolutely, yes, it is beingness, absolutely. So then, yes, it's just universal beingness, yes.
Just this, and it's very ordinary.
Yes, absolutely, very ordinary, yes, very ordinary. Like I think it's saying in the Buddhist scriptures, the ordinary is extraordinary, and the ordinary is the extraordinary is the most ordinary. Yes.
There's neither enlightenment nor unenlightenment. There's just this. It's beautiful.
Yes. And the experience of just this is peace.
Thank you.
It's peace, causeless peace. Because sometimes there is teaching that there is just this, but it's lacking the peace. So it's like a rose, but without its perfume. So yes, you're right. There's just this, and the experience of just this is this borderless presence, which is the peace, inner tranquility, the unshakable, causeless.
It only gets difficult when we try to talk about it. We try to explain what this is. In a sense, I mean, because we're coloring it, we're in some way we're actually giving it a name or labeling it.
Mm-hmm.
And because we need to communicate, what is it that we're expressing? What is it we're feeling? I feel it. I mean, that's what I feel. I feel it. I feel a vibration that's using me. It feels like it's using me. I don't know. Yeah. It's almost like I've been plugged into a light socket, into a electrical socket. Yeah. I feel this vibratory field.
Yeah. Well, the difficulty arises from trying. Of course, when there is no trying, it's just an expression is sharing, sort of a fresh unfolding. Like in this moment, is not trying. It's just sharing, experiencing, speaking. So if we're speaking about our experience, then there is no trying. Now, if there is a trying, then yes, you're right. When there is a trying, then there is somebody behind the scene who has an intention or a direction. I want something. So then it's a good idea to take a look at that.
Thank you. So there's no expectation. There's just an openness without resistance.
Yes. I mean, it comes from the understanding that everything that is unfolding is universal. It's universal doing. It's a universe unfolding. And that in this moment, I I don't mean the body, but it may include the body, but I'm referring to I, whatever I is aware presence, the reality that perceives. Is the universe. It's the universe that is actually perceiving. So the reality of I and the reality of the universe and the reality of the world is one reality. There's no personal cosmic entity. It's a universal.
It's just a universal dance, kind of. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just, yeah, yeah.
It's universal, like the wind, like the sunshine, and in a way, even the ache that right now this body is experiencing is part of the universal dance, which is saying, okay, here is a dance. What are you going to do with it? Well, I'm going to tend to it. I'm going to explore this, explore that. Yes. So we are the whole dance, the entire dance.
An exercise that I've used for years is to embrace what shows up, to embrace what is in the moment. And it makes it difficult when you have the pain body, you know, saying, "Hey, here I am. You know, notice me." Mm-hmm. And so that just is a different challenge there of embracing, you know, what is.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
when hunger arises, is telling you, okay, you know, time to take some action, whatever, check what's in the refrigerator, do some shopping, whatever, cook a meal. Same with the body. When there is an ache in the body, it's telling you, okay, you know, pay attention to me. Don't do spiritual. Pay attention to me. It's very specific. You know, it's a toothache, and you know, or it's a I don't know, shoulder ache, a backache. To take specific attention. Now, of course, you know, every person has different capacity of responding to you know, so we sometimes need to reach out. Okay, hey, look, you know, get some help from the universe around us. You know, friends, doctors, whatever. You know. Chiropractors, friends we made, I don't know. It depends what's available to you, what speaks to you, what resonates for you. But it's a call to pay attention. The difficulty would arise from some form of resistance. Some form. I'm not talking about physical pain. Physical pain is physical pain. It's not fun, you know. It's part of the message saying, okay, look, you got to pay attention now. Not like, you know, it's a small dull pain. Small dull pain. I'll pay attention to it tomorrow, maybe. But if it's telling you now, it's now. So it's just louder. It's louder. You know, it's more louder knock on the door. But the difficulty comes from some sort of resistance. And you know, yeah. So it is tending to the body. Doing the best we can, okay, and we explore various venues. We try this venue, it's working a little bit, but not 100%. Okay, we'll try another venue. We keep exploring with the intention to tend to the issue, tend to the situation. So in terms of being open to whatever is unfolding, first, important to understand that everything that's unfolding is always unfolding openly. Mm-hmm. It's always 100% on deck. Even the thought that says, gee, I don't like that, even that thought is 100% on deck, that thought itself. So everything that unfolds is always unfolding openly. There are no walls, no barriers anywhere. And barriers are imaginary. So there's an understanding about that. The understanding that consciousness, awareness, reality, I, is this open field of being. So it is understanding. When this understanding is not present, the impression is that there is somebody separate from certain experiences who is opening themselves up I'm opening myself up to this. I'm opening myself up to that. Oh, I'm having difficulty opening myself to this, but I'm having more ease opening myself to that. That's the imagination, imagining that there is somebody who's actually opening themselves up, who's actually, how do you say, being available. Sometimes in the teaching, we say, okay, well, okay, if you feel that you're resisting, okay, and you still believe that there is something that you need to do, because the teaching is very simple. There is like nothing to do. There's one reality, and you are that, and all is that. There's just this one reality. But
it gets where where there really is no me that arises or wants anything different than what is.
Yes. So at some point when there is,
it's receded into the background where it was once, much more dominant or prominent many years ago. But over the years and just witnessing the me that arises, it may want something different than what is. They may want have a preference over something.
mm-hmm.
And it doesn't, I have no preferences anymore, hardly. I mean, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yes. There is a sort of a dissolution of the personal preference, okay, and what matters is that in the end, your experience is that of peace, freedom, happiness. That experientially you are the peace. Now,
which for me is a contentment. I'm just content with what is. It's just, it's very peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a contentment without anybody being content.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
As long as there still is somebody being content, it's a good idea to take a look, to explore that,
So there's no witness or no watcher?
No. Witnessing and watching is at a certain phase in our contemplation, in our journey. Mm-hmm. There is the witnessing,
mm-hmm.
and then it's the entire universe. Now, there's no witnessing or watching. There is perceiving, like for example, right now, yes, I perceive. That's undeniable, right? I perceive, I hear these words. Whatever this I is, yes, I hear this word.
Awareness perceives. Awareness is the perceiving.
Yes, I is awareness.
Yes.
So awareness is inherently, it's knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Perceiving and knowing, they're similar. One of the attributes of awareness is perception, perceiving. I know I am, I perceive, perceiving and knowing. Yes, it's an inherent attribute of awareness. But in perceiving, there is no perceiver. It's just the entire realm is perceiving. It's perceiving itself. It's conceiving, creating, perceiving, and dissolving itself.
Yes, thank you.
So we go from being a personal self to being a witness, and then the witness dissolves into totality. So then we could no longer speak of a witness. If you want to speak of witness, say, well, the totality is witnessing. It's witnessing itself, from itself, to itself, by itself, for itself.
In the grand dance. Yes,
Well,
thank you.
hopefully a joyful dance, happy dance.
Who is there to want it to be anywhere different than it is? Who is it that wants it to be any different than it is anyway, right? I mean, just if it's just, I don't know. I have a hard time with the idea of happy and because it's almost like we're coloring. You're putting a color on this present, this. I don't want to use the word emptiness because people think, well, emptiness, but no, it's an expanded, infinite. I don't know how to say it.
But I do use the word happiness because I do use the word, I should clarify what I mean by the word happiness, because you're right, it may be misunderstood. By the word happiness, I refer to that there is complete absence of the sense of lack, a complete absence of the sense of lack.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
So as opposed to I am happy because now I got the partner that I dreamt of, or I got the boots that I wanted to buy, whatever, you know. But the complete absence of the sense of lack is happiness. And the love is a complete absence of separation, complete absence of other. So love is oneness. I and thou are one. So love is the absence of another. Happiness is the absence of the sense of lack.
And it seems to just arise naturally when there's no division, no separation. It just seems to be what is.
Yes. Except that in the background there may be lurking a faint dissatisfaction, a faint sense of lack, a faint some faint sense of me. And if when there is this faint sense of me which remains at the feeling level, then in life is going to bring it up to the surface, because life now is inviting us, is presenting us opportunities to release these possible, these in the lower level, in the cellar level, or in the attic, whatever, this background noise. So life may present us with certain situations that trigger us. And when they trigger us, meaning this latent, this sense of me that's down at the lower level is now rising. And so here's an opportunity for us to explore that, how to be, first to acknowledge that, and to have an understanding that about the remaining sense of separation at the feeling level. So at some point in our journey, our path, we come to the final work that cleans the slate. And it's very helpful to be working with a friend who can speak at this level of subtlety that you are comfortable with, and you can explore and these remaining vasanas.
Yes, vasanas, right. Fragments, yeah. I thought probably the part of that process of course, looking at the vasanas or just being in beingness, being in your being. I mean, it's hard for me to describe it, but I mean, just to the natural state, which is what we are, what we always are, and as these little pieces of root that may be of I am this, the I that's buried in you may rise and cause maybe a fragment of a personal me may want to react to it. And
yes. So once the understanding is,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
once the understanding is firmly established about I as awareness, I as consciousness, I as universal beingness, then what remains is the work at the feeling level, is what you call those fragments. Yes, absolutely. That is an important aspect of the work, and of course once you've come to the understanding about consciousness, and now it's irreversible. You cannot you cannot go back. But what is still ahead of you is the at the feeling level, the establishment at the feeling level, so that the entire space is clear.
Is there what is the best method to just to I would say cleanse, but to go deeply into the feeling level? Is there a certain healing modality, or
yes, there are various hints. There are various there are various means. And of course there are also very specific, responses depending on the particular situations. But there are some rules, some overall rules, which we often share here in these meetings. But best is for you to work regularly with a guide, regularly. But very briefly, since you asked, there is, whenever life triggers a certain vasana within you, you have two directions. One direction is, of course, to recollect your understanding. Recollect that at the moment that you are being triggered, at that specific moment, you are assuming yourself to be Jeff, to be a person, to be whatever it is, to be a sage, to be a son, to be whatever it is. You're assuming yourself to be somebody. And because it's not possible to experience any contraction without assuming yourself at that moment, that specific moment, to be a separate self, that consciousness is personal, limited. So that's one direction you need to recollect your understanding of. So that's at the mind level. Now, simultaneously, there's another direction of work, which is, of course, much more important. Well, equally, if not more important, which is the first, the non-action, the complete, going to complete stillness. I think in the Sanskrit term that may refer it as the Vairagnaya or Vairagna. I don't know if I may be misspelling, but it's the non-doing, so you, at the feeling level, there is a contraction, and the tendency with the contraction is to do something. You want to negate, avoid, blame, whatever, to do something, think your way out of it, whatever, name it, label it. So there is that entire aspect of non-doing. So this non-doing is experientially. It cannot be just simply, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything. No, experientially, you have to sort of go to presence and to the stillness and remaining completely still, completely unknowing, so that you don't know where you are, what you're facing, and you don't know that there is anything to do. Any time that anything arises that says, yes, I know I need to do this, I need to do that, then you've moved away from not knowing and you've moved into knowing. So there is that. Then there are exercises, certain yogas that Francis talks about often. We refer to them as body awarenesses, which are the yogas that simulate the expanded body, so that the sensation of the body. There are certain exercises with the senses of the body that delocalize the body and remove the sense of localization and the sense of limitation. There are expansion yogas. There are yogas of movement, non-movement yogas. Anyways, these yogas serve to first. Just want to mention that these yogas should not be practiced when there are crises, but rather should be practiced during peacetime. Like the Marines, they don't practice during the war. They practice, during times of peace. So when there is war, they know how to conduct the war. That's not a very loving example of, but anyways, you know what I mean. You have to practice during times where there aren't really any contractions, any issues. And then
how about the use of inquiry when feelings come up, and asking yourself, okay, who is it that's feeling this?
No, Jeff. Inquiry is the first phase. No. Inquiry. Once you already, I'm talking about the working at the Vasana levels, where there is already the understanding of what I is, and I refers to this aware presence, the reality right now that hears these words. Correct. Now, if you do want to go into inquiry at the feeling level, then the question is not to whom is this sensation arising? No, that's not the appropriate question. The question is, what am I assuming myself to be?
Okay.
Like now I'm feeling upset, for example. I don't know. Somebody said something to me and I'm feeling upset. Okay, what am I assuming myself to be? Not to whom is this upsetness arising? Well, it's arising to awareness. Everything is only one reality. It's always awareness. But what am I assuming myself to be in this moment? It's a very different question, right?
Uh-huh.
What am I assuming myself to be? Am I assuming myself to be, I don't know, somebody who shouldn't be insulted, whatever I'm assuming myself to be? So that you realize at that moment that, okay, you are assuming consciousness to be blah, 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 whatever, fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
On what, and well, I've already done that homework, that what is the evidence that I awareness is female or male or father or mother, or what is, we're really, I don't know, at least here we talk a lot about this sort of inquiry, which is at the mind level. This is first at the understanding level, but now we're mixing. We're no longer, we're talking about the post understanding level. But if at the post understanding level you want to engage in inquiry, and that's appropriate, the question is not to whom is this arising, but what am I assuming myself to be?
Thank you.
Good luck with the back, Jeff. I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you very much. I do have plans to get medical attention as soon as it's available.
Oh, yes, please do. Please. Yes.
Thank you.
Any questions? On there.
My experience, my personal experience, I had a lot of back pain in my life. I'm very hesitant with professional help because there is always this doing, the separate self-attitude of wanting to do something and to change something. And it was my understanding that the pain was an important pointer, like you mentioned earlier yourself. And the professional help is mostly aimed at removing the pain at all costs. And it's maybe our culture, or I don't know, but
yeah, but
it's a tricky topic.
Yeah, it is. I mean, hopefully you find somebody who's not just a symptom, symptom healer, but who's going to look a little deeper into it. Yes, yeah, I get what you're saying, Holger.
And to me, this and to me, this non-dual understanding made a big shift in my back pain. Interestingly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there was so much me, especially in the back pain. But blah blah blah. I don't know what to say.
No, I get it. I have a similar experience than you. There's a lot of physical pain that somehow worked its way through the non-dual understanding. But again, there is, I wouldn't apply that across the board to
for sure.
Physical. I don't know. I mean, I would say that yes, there is definitely an effect of the understanding and of the being this transparent body that has an impact on the functioning sensation.
What helped me a lot was this idea of when there's pain, it's a good thing because it's leaving the system. At one point, it changed my attitude towards the pain. Instead of feeling threatened by the pain, yes. I had this understanding that this is good because it's dissipating, it's leaving the system. And just for a moment, I have to feel it and it's gone forever. This just worked on my side. I don't know if it was hypnotism, but
yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know much about this, but yes, there is a lot of information out there. Right? Okay,
it's a touchy topic.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Okay. Jeff, Mina, Richard, George, Frank, Rashmi, Manoj, Holly, John, and Tara. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi.
Very much, Magdi. Thank you,
Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks for the questions, everybody.